So in this episode, we're going to be talking about trading platforms. So you will be learning what you use to analyze the markets, how you execute trades, and about brokers. You know the drill. We have a cigar, nice weather, we'll make the most of it. As you can see on the screen, the platforms we have are TradingView, MetaTrader, and the broker is Blueberry Markets. So the reason for TradingView is because that's where we do our analysis. So we can do our charting on there, we can do the technical analysis, and TradingView contains pretty much every tool we would need in order to get a full scope of the markets on a technical level. Then we've got MetaTrader5. So MetaTrader5 is where we will execute trades. We can click buy and sell. We can close trades, and that's pretty much all you would want to do on MetaTrader5. You can do charting on there, but it's not as advanced as TradingView. So it quite literally is just clicking buy and sell according to what TradingView says. But then we've got the broker, Blueberry, which is obviously the people that will actually execute the trade for you. On the back end, you'll have very little to do with Blueberry, but they're the people that will hold your capital. So how it all connects, here we have got obviously TradingView does the charting and analysis. So that's where you would start off. That's where you begin your journey of trading on TradingView, whether it be on every day, every week, you start on TradingView. Then again, to execute the trade, you go to MetaTrader5. And that's where you'll see your P&L or your money going up and down, your balance changing, your equity changing. That's MetaTrader5. But the way that works is you have to be with a broker. In my case, I use Blueberry Markets. There's a link to it in the description. I hold multi-six figures with Blueberry. I've never had a problem. We have great support over there as well. So Blueberry or the broker are the gateway into the markets. They're the people that actually allow you to buy and sell. So a broker is the middleman between you and the markets. Provides access to feeds and liquidity, because without those things, you would not be able to trade. Obviously, how would you get into the markets without that? They process the orders, obviously process and verify. CFD trading is a contract for difference. They're the people that you would have that contract with. And brokers will often offer multiple different accounts. So you can see here, you've got ECN, you've got ECN, raw spreads and standard. It might be called different things, like a raw spread could also be called a razor account. It really varies broker to broker. So, for example, standard is where you'll have slightly higher spreads or slightly wider spreads, but lower, if not no commission on those trades. Whereas raw spreads is you have no spreads or a very, very small spreads in those trades, and you will have higher commission. They both work out to be relatively similar in terms of long-term costs, but we'll go into spreads and commissions in a later video, or maybe even later in this video. So if you're not going with Blueberry, you must go with someone regulated, because it's very easy to say, I want, 1 to 5,000 leverage so that I can put $50 in and make potentially $1,000. That sounds great until you do that, and that unregulated broker closes your account and takes your money, and you can't do anything because they're offshore. You have no legal right there at all. So go with someone that is regulated by the FCA or ASIC. Depends on obviously where you're located in the world. It'll have to be with your regulatory body. For me, it's the FCA. So what is MetaTrader5, or commonly known as MT5? Now, you can get something called MetaTrader4 or MT4. I don't like MT4. It's a lot older than MetaTrader5. Both of them are very old and outdated, but MetaTrader5 is just slightly more advanced in my view. I just like it a bit more. The UI is a little bit more clean. It's more just personal preference. So MetaTrader 4 and 5 are both completely free. There is no payment. There is nothing to do on there. You download it, you start trading, obviously, with your broker. There isn't anything you pay with MetaTrader. You can place your orders, buy, sell. You can have buy stops, buy limits, all those types of things. Again, we'll get into order types and things in a later date. As I mentioned earlier, you do have some charting tools on there, like indicators and tools, but they're definitely not even close to TradingView in terms of the advanced or the totality of what they contain. MetaTrader, and I forgot to mention TradingView, actually are pretty much accessible on all platforms: Android mobile, iOS mobile, iPads, Macs, Windows. You've got the pick of the lot, really. So here we are. This is MetaTrader 5. This is just the standard MetaTrader quotes demo account. So it's just for the purposes of this video. So you can see mine looks a little bit different to yours, probably. I've got a Bollinger Band on here just so you can see how the interface can look. I've also got a custom indicator here. I'm not going to go into that. So that's not relevant for this video. So over here on the right side, you can see we've got the prices for the markets. And you can see, actually, if I just hover here, you should see this red and the gray. That's the spread that we spoke about earlier. Now, again, Wider spread generally is pretty bad. Lower spread is very good, but it also comes with pros and cons for each because of commissions. But yeah, we'll discuss that in a later date. But this is pretty much all I use on MetaTrader. So if you click on this clock here, you will see the different time frames. So we could go down to the 1 minute chart. We could go onto the weekly chart. And that's, very, very straightforward stuff. This camera here with the box is to take a screenshot of the chart. I don't really use that actually, but that can be useful. The 2 arrows here, this is how you open different assets. So let's say I'm on Eurodollar right now. What if I wanted to trade something else that isn't Eurodollar? Well, you would go into here. So you click these two arrows, the red and the green. You would then see this box and then right click and click on the symbols. And then here you can see you've got forex, you've got metals, indexes, NASDAQ, and custom. Obviously, again, this will change depending on what broker you're using, because different brokers support different assets. So you may not have indices, or you may have stocks. It doesn't matter too much on what you've got here. Again, your broker will support different things depending on who you're with. So then you would click on, let's say, Australian dollar Swiss, click on show symbol, and there it's in the list now up at the top. So if I get off that, and then we click on the symbol, and again, we right click and chart window. There we go. We've now got the Australian dollar Swiss. It's as simple as that. So if we click off that for now and we click on this folder, this is our navigator. So you can see you've got all your different accounts here. So if you've got, 3 or 4 different accounts, or you've got one, they'll all be listed here under the accounts section. Any subscriptions, MetaTrader does have a service you can, subscribe to indicators or EAs or different things. I don't have any. So you can see I've clicked on it and now it's opening this here. So that's that. Not going to go into that too much. We've got indicators here. So again, I've got some custom ones here, but you can add, you could add a moving average or an Ichimoku or envelopes, whatever. You would just click it, drag it onto the chart and let go, and then it will be on your chart and you can start using it. Expert advisors, similar thing. You can buy like algorithms of people on the marketplace, but again, it's not for this video. And then the rest of it is not really that relevant for this video. So this is an important one here. You can view your toolbox. So if you click your toolbox, this is your terminal, essentially. So what we're looking at is at the bottom, you can see balance, equity, and free margin. So your balance is essentially your account. So that's how much your account is worth. So if you didn't have any positions open, that's what your account has in it. The equity is actually the more accurate version. So the equity is plus or minus your open trades. So I'm just going to open a trade here on the Australian. In fact, no, I'll show you that in a second. So the equity is, let's say we've got $100,000 in this account. I open a new trade and it's negative $1,000. The balance will still be 100,000 because that's what my balance is. But the equity is what your balance will be if you close those trades. So the equity will be 99,000. Exposure, this just tells you what assets or currencies you're exposed to. Again, we're not going to cover that in this video. It's a little bit too advanced and things for what we're actually discussing in this video. If we go to history, this will show you all of the previous trades and deposits and withdrawals from your account. This is the full history of your account. There's news here, so if you want currency news or whatever, you can check that. But again, I wouldn't use MetaTrader for news and things. So let's get into placing a trade. So there are some other tools here. They're not that necessary to know about. I mean, you could just play around again. You've got different time frames here. You've got zoom in, zoom out. Very basic things, tools on this side, or on my side, I've got some tools like the Fibonacci tool. But again, I would let you go and play around with those because it's not super relevant. I don't want to keep repeating myself regarding tools and things. So let's go into placing a trade. So let's go onto Eurodollar again, because Eurodollar is very liquid, so we could probably get a trade running here. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about that direction. So in terms of shortcuts, Command or Control T should, and again, I don't use Windows, but I'm fairly sure it should open this. If you don't see this, you can right click on your charts if it lets me. Yeah, right click on your charts and you should see one-click trading here. So it's Alt-T, sorry. And then here you will see this. So this number here, this 0.25 is your lot size. This can be anything in theory, but remember, the lot size is how much money you want to risk. So if you've got $100, you do not want to be putting one lot in here, that your account will be gone. So I would suggest starting at 0.01 just to start with, and then you can get comfortable seeing when you're going up and down. For this video, just so I can show you how lot sizes work, I'm going to put 5 lots on, and I'm going to click sell, and we're going to watch the equity together. So there we go, sell in here on euro dollar. So now you can see the balance is still 100,000, but the equity is changing. And this is what I told you. If I close this trade now, that's what the equity is, what my balance would then become. So here you can see we've got the profit. So if I drag down, because I'm selling, this would be my take profit level. So now you can see the TP or T/P has got this number in it, and that's where my take profit is. Similar thing, if we drag up, this will be my stop loss because I'm selling. If you're buying, it's the opposite. And then you can see the stop loss box is just being filled in. Very simple. Now we could very simply just click this X here, and that would close the trade. Or we could right click on here, and that would also close the trade. So we're just going to close that for an $18 loss. Remember, this is a fake account. This isn't real money. And now we're just going to discuss putting limit orders in. So sometimes you won't want to enter the market straight away. You might want the market to come down slightly lower or go slightly higher in order for you to actually want to buy or sell it. So we would click here on trading. We could go to new order. And here we can go instant execution. That's where we literally buy or sell wherever the market's at. We want a pending order. Now we can do a buy limit, sell limit. And again, we're going to do the limit orders in a different video in more detail, but you can do all of this. And then you can obviously set the price and the stop loss and take profit, as we've already discussed. And then you'll click place and the trade would be there and it wouldn't be active until the market got to that level. Okay, so the next topic is what is TradingView? So TradingView is a web-based platform, but you can get the app for, I think, Windows. You can get it for Mac, iPhone, and Android as well. So it's very easy. It's very accessible to everyone. There is different plans. You can get the free version or you can pay for it. I pay for it because I see the benefits. If you're a new trader, using the free version should be completely fine. It's built specifically for technical analysis. You can trade on TradingView with certain brokers. I don't like doing that. It's just my personal preference, and we're not going to go into that in this video. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to go and watch a video specifically about trading on TradingView. But yeah, TradingView is specifically built for technical analysis. So we can have a lot of different indicators. There's public indicators that people have made that we can use. There's trend lines. You can create watch lists. You can edit things and you can really customize what you want to see. So this is TradingView. Now, again, I use the paid version and I've already customized mine. So yours will probably look very different and a lot more maybe boring or maybe even more interesting. So just to quickly start, if you do want to change the colors of your TradingView, you would simply right click on settings on the chart, and you can see here you've got the symbol. You can change the colors, status line. Again, you can add and change basically everything on here. You can change the background color, so we could have it bright red. That's so ugly. You can change the crosshair colors and size. You can change pretty much anything you want to change. If you go onto the Elite Traders website, actually, we do have chart themes that you can click on, and we've got lots of different chart themes. These are all my favorite ones, so I do sort of flick in between all these chart colors. So if you want to copy one that I use, you can go onto our website and just copy and paste these details. So it's very, very simple. Your watch list will probably be empty because obviously it's not customized. So what you would do is you would open the watch list tab here, and you could click the plus button. And let's say we wanted to add copper. We just type in copper, and we could click the plus, and it would appear in my watch list. And that way I can get to it very easily. Same thing with basic, well, anything, quite literally anything. We can click the plus. You can see I've already got pound dollar on here. And then you can start adding your watch list, and that will build a very fast and easy way for you to check what you want to check. Now, there is a whole load of things to talk about on TradingView, so I'm not going to go into exactly everything because not everything is that relevant. I'm just going to talk about sort of the main things. If you do want, there's lots and lots of tutorials on TradingView, so if you do want like a real in-depth one, again, I would suggest going and watching a video specifically about TradingView. But yeah, we'll just talk about the basics. So if you want to start backtesting, which is something I would seriously recommend, you would click replay and you would just drag back here, and then you can do that, and then you can start playing through, and this is how you would test your strategy. You can say, oh, I would probably buy or sell here. Then you would play through and say, oh, that trade didn't work out how I thought it would. I'll take a note of that, and that's how I learn. And that's sort of the premise of backtesting. Then you've got alerts. So let's say, again, I don't want to buy the euro dollar up here. It's a bit too high. Maybe I want it to come down to these highs here. So what I'll do is put my cursor over these highs, I would click right click, sorry, then add an alert. I would click create, and there we go. So now I can go to work, or I can go and cook, or I can go for a shower. I can go and do whatever I want to do. And on my phone, on the computer, whatever you've got TradingView on, when that alert is hit, you'll get a notification saying euro dollar has just crossed X level, and then you can maybe look to take the trade. So it's very, very convenient. It's very good. Then up here, we have got the indicators. So here, again, you can search for literally anything. You can even favorite them. You can see I've got a couple on here. So if we click on Bollinger Bands, you can see it just appears on the chart like this. I wouldn't really suggest any indicators. It's too early on in this video for that, because obviously I'll be telling you how I trade, what indicators I use, what tools I use later on in the series. So from there, we can click on these candles here, and this is changing the way you view the markets. So we could change it to a line chart. We can change it to an area chart. This is complete personal preference. I love an area chart, and I also love candlesticks. That's sort of the main two I use. So if we go ahead and continue to look here, we have the same thing we saw on MetaTrader with the different time frames. So we can scroll down, we can view all sorts of different things. You know, you can even go down to the 1 second if you wanted to, or you can check the 12 months, you can check 3 months, you can check yearly, you can check quite literally anything you would like to do. So then moving on to this left side down here, this is our tools. So we could use a trend line, for example. We can draw and say, okay, this market's going to the upside. Maybe I'd want to buy that market. Then obviously you can all sorts of stuff. You've got horizontal lines here. We've got things like a vertical line, so you could block off a certain time period. So you could say, okay, from then and backwards, maybe this happened, or I don't care about that part, or whatever it may be. You've got a regression trend. You've got, this is what I'm saying. There's so many different things within TradingView. It's very, very difficult to cover everything. So you can edit tools. If you double click on the tool, you can see here we could change the color. Let's make it a red, or let's make it black or pink, whatever you want to do. Fully customizable. You know, you've got pictures over here. We could add some images. So for example, if we wanted to draw up this trend line, we could say, okay, it's bounced off that point. It bounced off this point here. It's bounced up there as well. So we copy and paste that and say, okay, there's a bounce there. And this is pretty much it. So I would suggest going and checking out all of this and drawing it up. Again, I can't do all of it for you in this video, unfortunately, but there is so many different things, and it will be very overwhelming. And you'll think, how the hell would someone use that? What's that for? That looks strange. And that's completely normal. There's still things here that I don't really get. I don't use everything here. I've never had to, never needed to, don't really care about it. And that's normal. So if we go to measure here, you can see we can draw a ruler or a line, and we can say, okay, this would be a 14.34% rise. And these things are important. So if we look on here, we say, okay, I want to buy off this red line here, and this will be our long position. And we can do the same thing here. We could draw a short position. So if I wanted to sell the market and then buy it, we can do that. Now, these are really, really important to understand. They're very, very easy, but it's important to know that there's pips here. So this will be a 524 pip move. This will be 174 pips to the downside. Now, again, we're not going to go into that in this video because that is more on the actual trading side and risk management. So we will go into that in a later video, but please keep it in mind about pips. And I would actually suggest you do some research on pips before we even get there. That would earn you some brownie points in this class. So you can even have extra tabs. So if you've got different strategies or you want to pay attention to different things. So for example, I've got sort of my main day-to-day chart here. I've got a short-term time frame here. You can see this is just the 5 minutes where I'm looking at some of the equities. Then I've also got currencies over here. So I've got the US dollar, the yen, the Swiss franc, and the euro. And that way I can just pay attention to lots of different things in the markets without having to do anything. So I don't have to go and change this chart and lose what I'm looking at. I can just go and click something else and then click back. You know, like Google Chrome, you don't have to lose your tab to go and look at something else. You want more tabs. So guys, that's it for this video. I know it's been short, it's been sweet, but it has covered the important platforms. It's given you a rough breakdown. And you've also got a broker now that you can use down in the description, so you can begin having a little play around. Please do not put real money on the line just yet. We are not ready for that. Open a demo account, have a play around, play some crazy positions, and just enjoy the learning process for now. In the next video, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into technical analysis. I'm going to start showing you some real methods. And this is sort of where this series is going to start getting interesting, because we'll start looking at placing some trades. We'll look a little bit more into spreads and commissions so you can start understanding the costs of trading. And we're going to discuss a little bit on lot sizes as well. So guys, have a great one. I appreciate you all watching. I will see you all very, very soon. Stay safe.